Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup. Breaking news on Sunday evening. It looks like the Democratic dam is beginning to break, and you might have a flood of elected Democrats now come out calling for Biden to step aside from the presidential race. This from Punchbowl News, which is pretty wired on Capitol Hill. Congressman Jerry Nadler, Mark Takano, Don Beyer, and Adam Smith said Biden should step aside as Democratic nominee during a private leadership call this afternoon. Most said Vice President Harris should be the nominee. You got to love that this is being leaked because they're all too spineless to say it publicly. That's how these things work. They're leaking this to the media. They corrected it after the fact, saying that Don Beyer did not call for Biden to step aside, but Congressman Nadler, Takano, Adam Smith did call for Biden to step down. That then they added Congressman Joe Morello called for Biden to step down. When you add them to, I believe, three other Democrats in Congress, including Seth Moulton, who had an ill-fated run for president, I think that makes 6 or 7 House Democrats who have called for Biden to step down. And that's only the ones who have had the iota of courage to come forward publicly. There's a whole lot more. I would probably venture to guess dozens privately saying he should step down. Important to note the House, because our corrupt Congress generally takes off a quarter of the year for recesses. They have been on recess. So they are coming back tomorrow. And I would expect even more private call leaks where House Democrats are calling for Biden to step down. I want to note these are certainly no progressives calling for Biden to step down, as Yashar Ali on Twitter notes. Again, just like Mark Warner, the senator who has been reported is organizing a call among senators to talk about trying to get Biden to step down. Again, just like Mark Warner, these members are not troublemakers and they're not provocateurs. Adam Smith has voted 100% of the time with Biden. Nadler has voted with Biden 99.1% of the time, and Mark Takano 99% of the time. These aren't fringe members of Congress politically. They're in the mainstream. I would actually correct that. They are corporate Democratic stooges. They are not in the mainstream, particularly Jerry Nadler, who has been kind of in the same first class cabin of corporate Democrats, with Pelosi, for a long time Harry Reid, Schumer, Steny Hoyer. He is about as establishment as they come, pro-Democrat as they come, Zionistic, pro-Israel as they come. So and pretty old and also not completely with it. So for him to be calling for Biden to step down, Biden, as corrupt as he is, he's also an institutionalist. He also has a lot of regard for the Senate and the House and the rules and institutions and backslapping and favor trading. I think he cares a lot more if congressmen and senators are calling for him to drop out. And I think it would cause more shame for him if congressmen and senators are calling for him to drop out. Other parts of the media, have said that will, get him even more stubborn and even more entrenched to not drop out. If you have all these congressmen telling you to drop out, that's not going to do well for your already sliding polls. So I think that this is a sign of things to come. I think by midweek or Thursday, you could potentially have a fever pitch of House Democrats calling on him to drop out. You also have Senator Mark Warner, who is very corrupt, but that's another story, and one of the richest members of the Senate. Mark Warner, it leaked, was trying to organize a call with senators to try and get Biden to drop out. This is from Roger Sollenberger of the Daily Beast. Hearing that Mark Warner's gathering of senators tomorrow wasn't supposed to have been publicized, the info did not come from his press office, and he's not thrilled that it leaks. The meeting was, I hear, supposed to have been private. Seems like another office put out the story. It's all just leaks and, politicians shanking each other right now. That's the game. That's politics. How's that for democratic unity? By the way, as all this is happening and you have establishment corporate Democrats shanking Biden, he's in Pennsylvania having ice cream on the campaign trail. So far, haven't seen anything from him today as far as, having a cognitive meltdown, but, still a few hours left of the day. I do not think his George Stephanopoulos interview on Friday really helped him that much, even though there wasn't a massive meltdown cognitively. I think there was a lot of concerning answers, which we'll get to tomorrow during the live stream. Also, you got to look at there's other, not politicians necessarily, but major influential members of the Democratic Party calling for Biden to step aside. This is David Axelrod, who was, Obama's chief strategist on both of his campaigns, senior advisor. He's calling Biden defiant and delusion. He's calling it Biden's defiant delusion. And he's basically saying Biden at this point really has no path to beating Trump. And despite one positive Bloomberg poll, most of the polls, particularly the battleground polls, are showing Biden significantly down, even though Biden has been outspending Trump significantly in the battleground polls on the air. 3 separate polls conducted by CNN, the New York Times, and Wall Street Journal after the debate all showed Biden trailing Trump by 6 points nationwide. Previous polling has shown Biden trailing in nearly all the battleground states he nearly won in 2020. And now a handful of other states, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New Mexico, and Virginia, appear to be in play. At this rate, Biden is likely headed for a landslide defeat to a lawless and unpopular president. And I think there's another. But when Stephanopoulos confronted him with poll numbers showing him trailing and a job approval rating lower than any president who has ever won re-election, Biden would have none of it. I don't buy that. I don't think anybody's more qualified to be president. There's another element here. For the first time outside of January 6th, after that period and after Trump was officially removed from office, he was relatively quiet. But the first time in maybe the last decade, Donald Trump has been pretty quiet. Other than Truth Socialing, he's basically taken a back seat and let the Democratic Party Titanic sink while popping popcorn and champagne. And the more that Donald Trump stays quiet and just lets this play out, the better for him. Because Donald Trump, for example, with Bernie, in 2016 and 2020, the more people saw and heard of him, the more they liked him. And the more he rose in popularity. With Donald Trump, it's the opposite. The more he stays quiet, the less frantic tweets or truths he's going, the more people kind of forget of the chaos and just kind of remember the strong economy, which is BS. The economy was just as unequal and Gilded Age under Trump as under anyone else. And his big accomplishment was giving massive tax cuts to wealthy people and corporations. The economy was not booming under Trump, and manufacturing was not coming back like he promised. But compared to the inflation now, people think it was better. Even though, to be fair, inflation isn't completely Biden's fault. However, he hasn't done some obvious things he could have done to bring down inflation, from oil prices to grocery store prices. He has not gotten tough with corporate America. He has let them price gouge us to death, and his response has been sending them sternly worded letters. So from these Congress people to senators who are now organizing, and then you have Adam Schiff, Mr. Resistance Hero, Mr. MSNBC. I mean, he might as well be paid by MSNBC. He's on so much. He didn't formally call for Biden to drop out, but it sure sounds close enough to me. This was Adam Schiff this morning on Meet the Press.
But the performance on the debate stage, I think, rightfully raised questions among the American people about whether the president has the vigor to defeat Donald Trump. And this is an existential race. Given Joe Biden's incredible record, given Donald Trump's terrible record, he should be mopping the floor with Donald Trump. Joe Biden is running against a criminal. It should not be even close, and there's only one reason it is close, and that's the president's age. And what I would say, Kristen, what I would advise the president is seek out the opinions of people you trust. He's obviously talked to his family about this. And that's important.
So basically, I'm too spineless to actually call for him to drop out on national television, particularly the Sunday shows. But he's old and he is being embarrassed right now by Donald Trump. To be clear, if you look at the data, Bernie would have mopped the floor with Trump in 2016. Bernie would have mopped the floor with Trump in 2020 way more than Biden beat Trump by. Biden did not beat Trump by that much. And frankly, Bernie would mop the floor. Frankly, I think any actual progressive candidate would be beating Trump by a significant margin now. And if that wasn't embarrassing or shameful enough, Biden has lost revered Democratic Party, shall we say, resistance head from Hollywood. The Democrats are losing Rob Reiner. That's right. Celebrity. Rob Reiner, celebrity actor, director. Time to stop fucking around. If the convicted felon wins, we lose our democracy. Joe Biden has effectively served U.S. with honor, decency, and dignity. Time for Joe Biden to step down. Well, that should do it. We will stay on this, but like I said, I expect you're going to see a lot more congressmen grow a spine, go on the record this week. It would not shock me if you have Biden either firmly entrenching that he will never step down, even if you have 100 call for him to drop out, or him dropping out by possibly end of this coming week. I don't think this is sustainable for him to run a campaign as his own party is calling for him to drop out. And if the dam is breaking, the official flash flood will come if Pelosi or Schumer call for him to drop out, which could happen as well.